how to revise for maths. So we're going to use the textbook to structure our revision. We're going to take a chapter, and the chapters in the textbook are broken up into sections. So something like that. In this case, we have 6 sections in the textbook. So you'd go to one of those sections only a session. Now, you may need 2 or 3 sessions to cover an entire section, but you should only be doing a maximum of 1 section per maths revision session. So like I said, you take one of them, and then what you want to do immediately is go to the worked examples. So these are the questions that are done out in the textbook and have a solution in the textbook. Those worked examples look something like that, and what you would do is you'd cover the solution to the worked example and you would try the problem on a piece of paper. Once you have the problem completed, then you would uncover the solution and correct it. If you can do it, you go on and you try more questions and try more difficult questions. If you can't do it, you need to talk to a teacher, so myself, a parent, or consult one of the videos on YouTube. So let's go through how we would do that. So let's say we're doing this question. I would start by reading what we want to do. So it says solve the simultaneous equations. Just below the big text it says solve. So solve means I need to get a value for x and a value for y. I know there's simultaneous equations, so I would do out my question on a sheet of paper, and then once that's done, I would uncover the solution bit by bit. So we uncovered that part of the solution first. That's telling me that we added the 2 equations, so 2x and 4x are 6x, 4y and minus 4y cancel, so that's 0y, and on the right hand side we get 18. So 6x equals 18, dividing both sides by 6 gives me x equals 3. So that's the first stage, and then I check my example and see, do I have the x equals 3, was I able to get to that stage? If I wasn't, I go and I ask a parent for help. If I was, I can correct the rest of it. Now, we're looking to solve for x and y. We have the x value, now we need the y. And the way to solve for y is by substitution. So take either of the top 2 equations, that's in the top box. So we're going to take 2x plus 4y is equal to 14. And then we sub in the solution that we got in the second box. We found x is equal to 3, so we sub it in. Work our way through and we get y equals 2. So we now know x equals 3 and y equals 2 is my solution. And what you will have done is corrected your worked example. So you would have done the question and then you'd correct it. If you got it right, you move on to the next question. If you didn't get it right, you ask a parent or a teacher for help. Okay, what happens when you're done with the worked examples? You go on to the exercises at the end of the section. So how are we going to do this? We're going to try the questions that you did for homework when we worked through the topic. So if in a section we did questions 2, 4 and 6, you would start with question 2 and redo it. And then because you have it done, your hardback copy is the marking scheme for that question. So you should be able to use your homework copy to correct the question. Once it's corrected, you can then assess whether you get it or don't. If you get it, you go on to question 4 and repeat the strategy. If you get question 4, you go on to question 6 and repeat the strategy. So do the question and correct it with your homework marking scheme. If you can't, you talk to a teacher or a parent. So that really is what happens for each section. When you're done with a section, the next session, you go on to the next section in the chapter. And over time, you'll get the entire chapter completed. When you have the entire chapter completed, you then start doing the revision exercise questions and correcting those with the homework copy. That's the chapter done. Go on to the next chapter and rinse and repeat.